Welcome to tonight's video podcast. This is from the year October 2nd, 2015, as we did an interview with Carla, she's my wife. We did an interview with our friend Dazzling Dan, or as that's what cast members called him, Dazzling Dan. His name is Daniel Nava. And I hope to do a live interview with him soon. This was E-Ticket to Tomorrowland blog, which we did an interview, and it was we talked to him, and then I had to type out everything he said. So I'm going to read the interview, and as soon as I get a drink of water here, uh, we will be on our way. All right. So first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this interview with E-Ticket to Tomorrowland. We have 12 questions, and that's what E-Ticket was asking Daniel Nava, or as he liked to be called, Dazzling Dan. He worked at the World of Disney, then transferred into California Adventure Park, where he became a lead. So we will continue from there. And we will start with the first question once again. E-Ticket to Tomorrowland asks, at what age did you realize you loved the theme parks? And Dazzling Dan said, at the moment I entered the main gate in 1989, I was an anxious 8-year-old waiting, waiting to turn the turnstiles on the main gate. Man looks at me, gives me a Mickey Mouse button in the secret and whispered in my ear, the only real special people get one of these buttons. Then he winked. My jaw dropped because I was in awe. This guy made me feel the coolest kid in the world. Immediately, I was in love with Disneyland Park. Isn't that a great answer? Wow. E-Ticket then asked him, have you always worked for Disneyland Resort? When did you start? Dazzling Dan's answer was, on my 18th birthday, I applied to work for the Disneyland Resort. My cast member journey began in Main Street store operations. What was your first job? We asked. My first job was to put some Mickey Mouse gloves and start waving at guests. As soon as the guest approached you, you give them the high four. My Disney trainer. I guess that's what he said to him. E-Ticket Tomorrowland number 4 question. Would you recommend anyone to work at the parks? And Dazzling Dan said, I recommend the entire world to come work at the Disneyland Resort. The company pays you to be happy. What else do you need? I loved every minute of my time as a cast member. See, he's no longer a cast member. Everyone got laid off during the pandemic, but we interviewed him just before that. Well, actually, in the 2015. Question 5. What is your favorite ride at Disneyland? And he replied, my favorite Disneyland ride I called the cast member journey. Holy cow! Being a Disneyland cast member is the most fun you'll ever have. My ride lasted 15 years. Was a very interesting answer there. And he always had fun. I mean, I'll put pictures up because we're recording this for YouTube, so you'll get to see what Dan looks like. And every time that he got to visit, I mean, guests were visiting the park, they wanted to get their picture with him. That's how fun this guy was, and still is. All right, so um, we asked him on question 6. That's E-Ticket to Tomorrowland asked, "What will you miss most now that you have a new goal?" I'm going to miss all the education that Disney provides to all the cast members. They allow you to meet the new people from all over the world. This place is all about safety and healthy lifestyle. I lost 32 pounds just because I was getting taught how to make good food choices at Disney. Schools schools should be designed like Disneyland. I would never want to ditch school if that was the case. uh, Daniel Dan, A.K.A. Dazzling Dan. We did not finish the interview as I know how emotional these can be. We wish you luck on your new adventure, Dazzling Dan. Thank you for the small interview and God bless. So, we did get pictures that he sent us, and I will post those. And there's a picture of him working in the world of Disney. That's on the outside of Disneyland Park at the Disneyland Resort. And there's a picture of him with his little, he had a Woody hat. He always had that Woody hat. I remember seeing him when we were at the Zorro premiere. Was it Zorro? Yes, it was Zorro with Johnny Depp. He was on the red carpet. I don't know how he got there, but he's a cast member, so he could do that. Let me see. Okay. So here's the last bit of what we got into that. So we didn't get 12 questions, but we did get to see him. And well, see him. We got to interview him on the phone, and we got actually 6 questions. When guests would visit the parks, they wanted their pictures taken with the 2 icons, Mickey Mouse and Daniel Nava. I remember I was at a press pass event, the red carpet, as I was speaking, Lone Ranger event, and then there he was on the red carpet with his tiny hat. He worked as a lead with my wife in the world of Disney, which I said that. And she and he, oh, I'm sorry. And she said he was a great guy. DCA will miss him, as I'm sure his friends do too. Now, recently, I have talked to Daniel, and I asked him if he'd like to do another interview. And at the moment, he's still quite emotional. And I don't blame him. I get emotional when I used to go to the park. I mean, you get to go in there, and then well, my favorite song is When You Wish Upon a Star. I finally come to the conclusion when people ask me, what is your favorite song? That is my favorite song. I start crying every time it happens. Yeah, I know. You're thinking, oh, what a wuss. No, I'm not a wuss. It's called emotions. Those are the emotions I get, especially during the fireworks. Anyways, this is Mitchy the Kid at E-Ticket to Tomorrowland podcast, and I hope that you guys liked this short podcast for tonight. Of course, we are going back in time so we can reach tomorrow. And as Walt Disney does say, or did say, keep moving forward. We hope to have another interview with Dazzling Dan, Daniel Nava, soon. Thanks again, and don't forget to subscribe right down wherever it is. Yeah, right down there. Right there. There'll be a subscribe button. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you in the future.